when things are flowing for him, he's ruthless.
It's kind of dangerous for the opponent.
Kylian Mbappe just 2 goals behind him.
Yeah. What does 2026 have in store?
Captain now. I'm the captain of the team.
What if I told you that right now, at this very moment, one man is rewriting the entire history of football?
He does more than just score goals. He takes your breath away when you watch.
Not someday, not in 5 years. Right now, that a player who was still a teenager when he first won a World Cup has just become his country's greatest goal scorer of all time and is now 2 goals away from breaking the most legendary individual record in the sport. His name is Kylian Mbappe.
When I saw him the first time play, I said, we have Pelé here. And people said, you are crazy.
I could not take my eyes off this.
And what he is doing at the 2026 World Cup this summer is something that no player in the history of this tournament has ever done so fast, so young, or so decisively. Stay with me.
He is box office. He's one of the biggest names in global sport.
There is a version of this story that begins in a small apartment in Bondy, on the outskirts of Paris, where a boy used to sneak out after dark to play football on concrete floors until his parents finally came looking for him.
The story of Kylian Mbappe starts in Bondy, which is a town north of Paris. Very multicultural, of course, like all the banlieues. There's not much money. Football is one of the escape that you can find, but life is tough.
It's the city of the beginning where everything starts. I learned everything there. I just want to follow my dream.
That same boy grew up watching Cristiano Ronaldo videos on repeat, dreaming about one day standing on the biggest stage in the world. That stage is here. That day is now. And that boy, he is no longer a boy. He is Kylian Mbappe, the captain of France, the man who has turned the 2026 World Cup into his own personal highlight reel.
And Mbappe!
But to truly understand what we are watching right now, you have to go back to the beginning. Because what Mbappe is doing today did not happen overnight. It was built over years, game by game, tournament by tournament, with moments that made the entire football world stop and stare.
Mbappe is so sweet!
Heading into the 2018 World Cup in Russia, France had a squad packed with talent but no real identity. They had just lost the Euro 2016 final on home soil to Portugal, and manager Didier Deschamps was known for being pragmatic, which is just a polite way of saying he preferred sitting deep and grinding out results over entertaining football. Defensive solidity first, attack second. That was the blueprint. And into that system stepped a 19-year-old named Kylian Mbappe. The tournament did not start with fireworks. France's opening game against Australia was disjointed, and the chemistry between Mbappe, Griezmann, and Dembélé was nowhere near clicking yet. France won 2-1, but nobody was convinced.
But unfortunately, so much of this match against France was overshadowed.
Then came Peru, and everything changed. In the 34th minute, Giroud's shot looped over the keeper, and Mbappe was the first to react, tapping it into an empty net.
Here's Giroud! A deflection on Mbappe!
It was not a spectacular goal. It was a poacher's goal. But at a World Cup, every goal matters, no matter how pretty or ugly. With that tap-in, at just 19 years and 183 days old.
Knowing him in his mind and with that determination and ambition, 2018 was always for him, I need to be at that World Cup.
Mbappe became the youngest goal scorer in the history of the French national team at a World Cup.
How he seems to be just part of that French team, that's kind of a family environment. It seems like, you know, they took him all under their wings. He feels just so calm, he feels so comfortable in that side.
But more impressive than the goal was his tactical awareness. Deschamps required his wingers to do heavy defensive work, and Mbappe, at 19, followed that game plan perfectly without complaint, and still delivered on the offensive end. That is not something you normally see from a teenager.
It helps you to be very young. At that time, not a lot was expected from him, on the responsibility front.
Then came Argentina. That was the match that took Mbappe from talented teenager to global superstar in a single afternoon. He picked up the ball in his own half, hit a top speed of 37 kilometers per hour, and made the entire Argentine defense look like they were standing in mud. They had to trip him in the penalty box just to stop him. He scored twice in that game, one with his weaker left foot, one powerful finish into the corner.
Tweedy and Mbappe! Oh!
He became the first teenager since the legendary Pelé to score twice in a World Cup knockout match.
The game against Argentina in the last 16 was one of the best football matches I think I've ever seen.
In the final against Croatia, he put the finishing touch on a dream summer, smashing a left-footed shot into the bottom corner to become only the second teenager in history to score in a World Cup final. 4 goals, a World Cup trophy, and the Best Young Player award.
One of the defining images of the tournament.
He did not just join a great French team, he turned a good French team into the best team in the world.
What gets me is not his skill level or his pace, it's his confidence. I've never seen such a confident teenager.
If 2018 was about Mbappe arriving at the party, 2022 was about him hosting it.
Kylian is somebody who isn't satisfied with winning a World Cup. He wants to be the next Pelé. He wants to be the next player to win multiple World Cups.
Doing all the cooking, setting the table, and cleaning up afterwards by himself. France arrived in Qatar with serious problems. Injuries had torn through the squad, and Karim Benzema, one of the best strikers on the planet, had to pull out right before the tournament started.
It's been confirmed that France striker Karim Benzema has been ruled out of the World Cup.
The entire football world looked at Mbappe and said, "Okay, buddy, it is all on you now." And without blinking, he took charge. He scored both goals against Denmark.
Who looks for Mbappe?
He set up and scored against Poland, already sitting at 5 goals by the round of 16. Against England, he was so dangerous that they put 2 or 3 players on him at all times, which opened space for Tchouaméni to score a stunning long-range effort.
Tchouaméni able to get a shot away!
Against Morocco, he burned past 3 defenders in the semi-final to help create the winning goal. Even when he was not scoring, he was the main reason France kept winning. And then came the final against Argentina. For the first 80 minutes, Mbappe was a ghost. France were losing 2-0. He had not had a single shot on target, and the game looked completely over. And then in 97 seconds, he did something that football had never seen in a World Cup final before. Minute 80, penalty. He stepped up and smashed it into the net. 2-1. Minute 81, a falling volley struck perfectly into the bottom corner. One of the greatest goals ever scored in a World Cup final. 2-2.
He is an awesome force of nature!
He had dragged France back from the dead in under 2 minutes. The game went to extra time. Argentina scored again to lead 3-2, and Mbappe stepped up and converted another penalty to complete a hat trick. 3-3. The only player before him to score a hat trick in a World Cup final was Geoff Hurst in 1966.
He went into this World Cup with that commando mentality. I'm here on a mission.
That is a list of exactly 2 people in the entire history of this sport. France eventually lost on penalties. Mbappe walked away with the Golden Boot for 8 goals in the tournament, but you could see from his face that the individual award meant nothing. He had played what many called the greatest individual performance in World Cup final history, and it still was not enough to bring the trophy home.
It was billed, wasn't it, as Messi versus Mbappe. And whenever you get those things, they always let you down. Not this time.
That heartbreak is a big part of what drives him every single day.
The feeling that we had in Qatar, everybody wanted Messi and Argentina to win. Everybody apart from France.
And look, if you have been following this channel for a while, you already know we have been tracking every step of this journey. But what is coming up next in this video, what Mbappe is doing right now at the 2026 World Cup, is honestly the most remarkable chapter of this entire story. So, if you have not subscribed yet, now is a really good time. Hit that subscribe button, tap the notification bell, and let's keep going, because this gets even better. Here is something people often forget about Mbappe. He does not just show up at World Cups, he shows up at World Cups in the best form of his career. And in the 2025-26 season at Real Madrid, he reached a level that honestly surprised even his biggest believers. He won the La Liga Pichichi Trophy, the award for the top scorer in the Spanish league, with 31 goals in just 34 appearances. He won the European Golden Shoe for the first time in his career.
El jugador del Real Madrid, Kylian Mbappé.
In the Champions League, he was the competition's top scorer with 15 goals in 11 games. Across all competitions, La Liga, Champions League, Copa del Rey, everything. He finished the season with 42 goals and 6 assists in 44 games. People stopped comparing him to previous versions of himself. They started drawing statistical parallels to prime Cristiano Ronaldo at Real Madrid. That is the tier he had reached. He was no longer just a winger. He had transformed into a complete central striker, capable of scoring from distance, finishing in tight spaces, converting half chances that most forwards would not even attempt. He arrived at the 2026 World Cup not just in good form. He arrived in the form of his life. And the 2026 World Cup has already been extraordinary. In France's opening group game on June 16th against Senegal, Mbappé darted across the penalty area to convert a brilliant pass from Michael Olise in the 66th minute and break the deadlock.
Olise, lovely. Mbappé!
And then, deep into injury time, he stepped back and blasted one from long range to seal the win and make it 3-1 to France. That second goal, in the 96th minute of a World Cup opener, made him the all-time leading international goal scorer in French history with 58 goals, a record that had stood for decades. Gone, just like that. In the opening match of the tournament, 4 days later, on June 22nd against Iraq, he was at it again. 2 more goals, another dominant France performance, a 3-0 win, with Mbappé receiving a 9.2 match rating from a statistical performance that was close to perfect for a striker.
It feels like he's getting better with every game. Is he, or has he always been at this exact level?
And just last Thursday, on June 26th, France dismantled Norway 4-1. Mbappé did not score this time, but he picked up 2 assists, was the most dangerous player on the pitch for the 87 minutes he played, and walked off with an 8.7 rating. France won all 3 group games. They are through to the knockout rounds without being seriously pushed. And here is the number that puts everything into perspective. With 4 goals already this tournament, as of July 5th, 2026, Mbappé has reached 18 career World Cup goals. That ties him with German legend Miroslav Klose for the second highest goal tally in men's World Cup history, leaving him just 1 behind Lionel Messi's all-time tally of 19. He is 2 goals from breaking the most prestigious individual scoring record in the entire history of this competition. And the knockout rounds have not started yet.
He's like 27.
Yes.
The guy is making history and breaking records right now.
So here is the question everyone is asking. Will Kylian Mbappé finally bring the World Cup home for France in 2026? Look at what we know right now. France won all 3 group games, scoring 10 goals and conceding just 2. They have not been seriously tested yet, which is either a sign that they are saving their best football or a sign that they are in a genuinely different class to everyone around them. Mbappé is in the form of his career. But more importantly, and this is the key difference from 2022, he is not alone. Players like Michael Olise, Aurélien Tchouameni, and Eduardo Camavinga are contributing at a genuinely elite level. This French squad is more complete than any version we have seen before. But this is football.
What we saw from Mbappe, what we saw from Olise, what we saw from everyone, it was just hard to ask for more from France.
The best team does not always win. You can have the greatest player in the world and still lose on penalties. You can dominate a group stage and get knocked out by 1 moment of magic in the quarterfinals. Nothing is guaranteed. Nothing ever is in this game. What I can tell you is this. If there is one player on this entire planet capable of deciding a tournament with sheer individual brilliance, it is the man who scored 2 goals in 97 seconds when the World Cup final was already gone. It is the man who has played in 3 World Cups and left his mark on every single one. Big moments do not scare Kylian Mbappé. They unlock him. And right now, he looks more unlocked than ever.
Mbappé! Oh, wow!
Let's talk about what happens if he actually does it. If Mbappe lifts the trophy in 2026, the conversation around his place in football history changes permanently. He would have 2 World Cups, more than Messi. He would almost certainly be the all-time leading goal scorer in World Cup history, owning a record that could stand for another generation. He would have done all of this as the undisputed captain and leader of France across 3 different tournaments, spanning nearly a decade at the very top. That is not the story of a great player who won a tournament as part of a great team. That is an entirely different category of footballer. For years, the greatest of all time debate lived between Messi and Ronaldo. Before that, it was Maradona and Pelé. But Mbappe is 27 years old. He could realistically play in the 2030 World Cup. He is not at the end of his story, he is right in the middle of it. And the chapter being written this summer is the most extraordinary one yet. In France, Zidane is worshipped for what he achieved with the national team in 1998 and how beautifully he made the game look.
Zidane, it is! In the nick of time for France.
But Mbappe has already scored more goals in a World Cup final than Zidane ever did. If he wins this, that comparison stops being a debate and becomes a formality. And on the global stage, if the numbers keep growing the way they are growing right now, the greatest of all time conversation will not be a hypothetical anymore. It will be impossible to avoid. Football has given us moments that stop the world. Maradona weaving through 5 defenders in 1986, Zidane's bullet header in the 1998 final, Ronaldo's iconic tournament in 2002, Messi finally lifting the trophy he always deserved in 2022. Every generation has a defining image. And right now, in the summer of 2026, Kylian Mbappe is writing the next one goal at a time. Whether you have been a fan since that night in Russia in 2018 when a teenager from Bondy ran clean through the Argentine defense, or you only started paying attention after he dragged France back from 2-0 down in a World Cup final, you are watching one of the greatest careers this sport has ever seen, unfolding in real time. The records are falling, the history is being made, and the story is far from over. So, here is what I want to know. Do you think Mbappe wins the World Cup in 2026? Do you think he breaks Messi's all-time scoring record before this tournament is done? And if he does all of that, where does he sit in the greatest of all time conversation for you? Drop your answer in the comments below. I read every single one, and this is exactly the debate I want to have with this community right now. If you want every update from the 2026 World Cup, every Mbappe goal, every result, every twist in the bracket, make sure you are subscribed and the notification bell is turned on. We are right in the middle of something historic, and you do not want to miss a single second of it. I will see you in the next one.